Greetings and salutations, folks, and welcome back to Death Stranding, where, in between last time and this time, I've put a little bit of thought in regards to the cufflink.
Have a pleasant journey.
Aside from being a, I don't know if it's a terrible play on words, it's just, it feels like they tried really hard to make it work. It's your codec.
If you're lost, Sam. The isolation word should be pretty obvious. If you're not sure how to get there, you can set markers and draw routes too.
Oh,
Try it out
okay.
and see what I mean.
That's neat. Let's draw a route or a route. So we want to go there. How do you... Oh, okay. I think I did that wrong. Let's, remove that marker. Place the marker again. And then... plot a route there. And then from there, like there, and there to there. Okay, that's actually kind of interesting. The idea that you can plot your own route, as opposed to just following the game's set of standard, like, this is the way you must travel. But the cufflink, aside from being a play on words, on something you wear on your wrist, which I feel as though, like, once they figured out that the word matches up, like, that was just money for them. But as a plot device, as a method of symbology, once again, I think I kind of want to go...
Your friendly neighborhood dead man here. If you want to confirm you're headed the right way, check your compass. It'll never steer you wrong. Provided you have a destination, that is.
Okay. Alright. So... where was I before Dead Man showed up? Oh yeah, the alternate symbology for cuffling. I'm just going to stand here and talk about cufflinks for a second. That way I don't get interrupted again. I find it interesting because it's like... it talks about ropes and sticks. Ropes as a mean of pulling things towards you, sticks as a means of pushing things away. But ropes also are a manner of bondage, as a manner of holding things down, binding things. So the cufflinks function in two manners. They function in a manner in which they function as handcuffs that physically bind Porter to the bed frame, but they also bind Porter to the data central to bridges. In the fashion that the cufflinks are used, they are not meant to... they are meant for Bridges to pull Porter, whose name is also Bridges, so that makes talking about him a little bit more confusing. They are meant to keep him as a character from getting away from the company.
Central wasn't just home to Bridges HQ. It was also the seat of the Reconstructionist movement. If the president hadn't required special treatment, she would have never left. And if she hadn't, we wouldn't have either.
And if we didn't, we'd all be dead. So yeah, as a method of symbolism, it's interesting. Even if the play on words itself is a bit cheesy. That said, let's, I think that's enough for the cufflink for now. I suppose, actually, no, that's not enough for the cufflink. So then, if the cufflink is meant to bind Sam, is Sam's journey as a character about gaining his own independence? If ropes are meant to pull people towards you that you want, is Sam supposed to be pulled towards bridges? Is Sam being pulled back to America? To America. And by doing so, does that relieve him of the bonds when he finally takes his place where he's supposed to go? But for now, I believe we're supposed to meet the President of America, who is dying of cancer. Though I suppose that also continues that theme of death. The rainfall comes and washes time away. The darkness comes and ages everybody rapidly. And the leader of the free world?
Like I said, her vital signs are all trending the same way.
No chance of a recovery then?
None that I can see. No.
We should start making preparations.
Sam. It's me, Dead Man. Sorry, my mistake.
We just spoke like less than 10 minutes ago about my fear of touching
I'm
people.
afraid the president's condition has deteriorated. Thank you. This will help to ease the pain. And allow her to speak with you in these final moments.
Huh?
The first and last female president of the United States. Surely you remember her. She raised you. You're not exactly dressed for a reunion. Take that off before you come inside.
Sam isn't exactly dressed for social encounters in general, but then again, that's kind of more fitting with his character. Let us skip, oh yeah. Yeah, look at those skips. I don't really need to know any of these things. Or maybe I need to know about them, but I don't know enough about what I'm looking at to appreciate it, and okay. None of that looks good.
That's the president's right-hand man, the director of bridges.
Die Hard Man?
Oh, you were with Bridges 1? So, I guess no introductions are necessary.
Okay.
What's it been, Sam? 10 years?
I hear this guy's performance is supposed to be really, really good.
Like this. Yeah, well,
There were a few people talking about it on Twitter
President's waiting.
when this game came out. Yep, and like Sam, he has his own cufflink.
It's your mother, Bridget. She's a bit out of it, but I know she'll recognize you.
Does Sam not recognize his own mother? Has he been out of it for a long ways too? Or is the whole his whole loop of dying and coming back to life, has that affected his memory?
We'll leave you two alone.
Also, it's nifty that even at this end of the world stage, everybody in this area has matching red jackets.
Are you doing all right? Yeah, I know you hate me. Amelie.
Amelie.
You remember Amelie went west. Took her 3 years to cross. She's trying to rebuild the country.
Still going on about that, huh?
You're the one I wanted to send, Sam. Time's running out. Help Amelie. She needs you.
This is something interesting that Hideo Kojima does, I think, more than nearly
America whole.
every other video game director,
Sam, if we
is
don't all come
his
together,
games, especially like Metal Gear
humanity
Solid
will not survive.
5 had a lot of this, is
We don't need a country. Not anymore.
the
We
camera
do. Alone,
that's
we have no
pointed at these
future.
characters always
America's finished.
feels as though it's being held
You're
by
the
somebody.
President of jack shit.
Sam, listen to me.
Ma'am, you've got like a billion cords coming out of your back.
Please. So you are willing to help me?
No, I...
Also, in a fashion, she's also leaving the black handprints on the floor, similar to the villains in the game. And you can almost say that in a similar fashion, they're both trying to pull Sam towards them.
I'll be waiting for you on the beach.
And she's dead. That was fast.
Madam President! Oh, no.
Doctor, we need your help.
All hands on deck here.
But yeah, like, there are examples of filmmakers who try to make it seem as though the camera is not being held by anybody. That's like, you can see a lot of that in the exploitation of Steadicam versus handheld. Knives Out is an example of a movie that features extensive Steadicam. I believe it only has one handheld shot. I remember seeing an interview of what was the guy's name? The director of Panic Room, 7. Hold that thought. That was all an illusion. Because there is no sunny day. There is no field through the White House view.
Listen, no one can know that the president is dead. If word gets out, Bridges is finished. Now, what happened here does not leave this room. Do you understand?
Yes, Director. But there's still the matter of the body. Without corpse disposal.
We've got that covered.
Oh yeah, because the body is just going to explode and then kill everybody. So yeah, David Fincher. I remember seeing an interview of him.
Before she died, the president made a contract with you.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
As a member of Bridges, you're gonna work with the rest of us to rebuild America.
You think you can recruit me? Like she tried to?
Well, she succeeded. Look at your wrist.
You've already been
That's not
recruited.
symbolic. I don't know what is.
Director, the cancer spread throughout her entire body. Harvesting organs is out of the question, and there is no need for an autopsy. Her body needs to be cremated before she necrotizes.
And if we don't, this place will turn into another crater.
What do you want me to do?
We don't
You
have
are the
any
man who
orders right
delivers.
now. And the CD team you went into the field with are dead.
Oh, okay. So his
The
name
president's
isn't
body
necessarily
has to be
Sam
burned.
Porter Bridges.
The road from Capital
His
Knot
name is
City to the
Sam, he
incinerator
is a
is
porter,
compromised
and
in
he
the Void
works
Act.
for Bridges.
The only way there is on foot, through the mountains. But the chiral density there is off the chart. It's gotta be BT's.
This job has requirements. Tombs. Repatriate.
So me. Why?
Sam, you're already on the clock.
Now get it done, Sam Porter Bridges.
So yeah, David Fincher did an interview where he talked about how he likes to make it seem as though the camera isn't held by anyone, that it's doing its own thing. And there are best examples of that in Panic Room especially, where the camera is just swooping everywhere. But in video games, if you want to make it seem as though the camera is held by somebody, you actually have to control the camera.
Can I have a moment? President Strand believed in American Reconstructionism. She worked tirelessly to bring
President
the nation together.
Strand?
And without her, there would be no Bridges. She deserves a funeral with full honors. But we can't give her that. If she dies, America dies.
Without her, Bridges will cease to be.
Listen. Her cremation must be carried out with the utmost secrecy.
Even if we pull it off, what then? Who's gonna take her place? Face it. America's history.
Sam, America isn't dead yet.
He just said that it dies if Bridget dies.
She
And
may be
Bridget
close to
is
us,
dead.
But we still have an America worthy of the presidency.
Sorry, what?
Let's not get into it now. What matters is that we're going to finish your mother's work and rebuild America as she intended. That's the reason Bridges exists. So take the first step, Sam, and deliver the president's body to the incinerator.
If we don't all come together again, humanity will not survive. You're the one I wanted to send, Sam. Time's running out. I love you, Sam. I'll be waiting for you on the beach.
Now, the beach I've already seen in one of the or mentioned in one of the trailers, specifically for Heartman.
The facilities to the
But
southwest.
it seems as though
Remember
the
that you'll
beach
be
is
passing
like some
through
sort of
BT
afterlife.
We built the incinerator way up in the mountains so that the chiral matter in the smoke wouldn't reach the city. It won't be easy carrying a body up there.
You'll have to press the L2 button and then the R2 button in various degrees.
We'll be monitoring you around the clock. If anything comes up, we'll offer you support via the cufflinks.
What kind of support can they actually offer? That is an that is a good image. I'm going to start critiquing some of the things I don't really care for about this game, but I have to say the image of Sam carrying the dead body with the country in the background is strong. What isn't strong...
Sam, this is Die Hartman. Dead men explained how to use the cuffs, right? Use them to check the location of the incinerator.
is the naming convention. For me, like, it feels as though, like...
Hello?
Oh.
Don't mind me.
Huh. Okay. Is the naming convention, which... Let's... Oh. I have to get rid of these? Remove... How do I remove all markers? There we go. So I need to go way over there. So it looks like I should head towards the beach and use that as a route up here. So let's head that way. Head like that away. That away, and that away, and... There we go. Like calling the name of the organization Bridges that is going to construct bridges to unify the country.
Sam, I don't think I need to remind you, but every minute counts when transporting corpses for disposal. 48 hours following cardiac arrest, they go necro and become a fresh BT to make our lives hell.
Is this slower or faster? But calling it the cufflink, calling your handcuff a cufflink that you use to, to link yourself up to the Bridges community as a whole. It all feels like the symbology becomes a little bit too obvious. Like too much, like hitting right on the nose. That said, I suppose I have to admit this allows a person to jump into the discussion a lot faster. You're able to see, you're able to hear the name, see it function, and immediately be able to talk about it, rather than kind of surmise it through its use.
Symbol of American Reconstructionism. Even with the country shattered and its people scattered to the four winds, she never stopped believing they could be reunited. People held on to their hope that America would rise again because they believed in her. We believe that this country can be rebuilt. America lives on, together with Bridget's undying spirit.
And that leads to the question: is why is her name Strand? The game is called Death Stranding. The affliction that is affecting this country is the Death Stranding. Am I blocked from climbing up there? Is that a shield or a filter?
Have a pleasant journey.
It's somewhat unclear. Ah, son of a... Okay. I think I might be able to cross over... Let's see. Cross back over at the bridge in order to get around the shielded section. I wonder how much this actually affects your stats. Because, like, apparently you're supposed to have a certain amount of stamina, and the lower your stamina gets... Can I actually climb that? I guess this will be at the very least... Maybe I can climb this right side, and then... Excellent. Okay, now I think I need to clear out a marker. Actually, I don't actually need to clear out a marker. I could just keep going. What was the button? That was the button. I think. Nick Easton. Why, hello, Nick Easton.
This one's for you.
Is this... Oh. Is this somebody else's? What do you get for sending likes? There's custom marker B. Custom marker. Okay, so there's the beach where I'm heading over. I probably don't need to head all the way over to the beach. I could probably just... And by beach, I suppose that's a nice way of putting this, where the ocean, where the water lands. I could probably just head straight through there.
Yeah, just like that.
Huh. Okay. So, for some reason, because I'm... Like, right now... okay. So... Oh, no. Ah, son... Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. Oh, stop. There we go. Okay. For some reason, I felt that if I held down both the L2 and the R2 buttons, then that would generally help me brace overall, brace better off. But it seems that there are going to be some occasions in which I would be better off just holding down one button versus two.
There's something that's uncomforting. Your body is away with me.
Now, something can be said in regards to this camera angle. Not necessarily just... I especially like how Hideo Kojima uses... actually specifies the name of the song, the artist, whenever it comes on. It also seems like I'm going to have to start listening to more of Low Roar because they're actually really good. Consider the distance of the camera. Like, think about games where the camera is extremely close behind a character versus where it's kind of like mid-range versus where it is now. Right now, we are very distant to Sam. We're not... The distance minimizes tension. We realize that he's largely safe in this travel. The closer the camera gets, the tenser it becomes. Oh. Are these other players? Do I have a limited amount of likes? Oh yeah, I do have a limited amount of likes because I only earn so many likes when completing any given mission. What does a player get for earning likes? I'm gonna have to look that one up. Maybe that's something I'll figure out once I'm able to actually build structures. Are we in a like-based economy? Still, I've got to say, it's a very pretty game. And the actual hiking through the game is made stronger because of how well realized the world is. Now, the end of the song and the shifting of the camera makes me a little bit suspicious that something is going to happen here. Or is this more of the case in regards to, like, maybe... maybe the music isn't quite as timed as well as it could have been. A great example for that could be, yeah, let's head over this way. In Metal Gear Solid 5, there's a specific sequence where you're with Skullface, and you're in a truck heading towards base, to Skullface's base, and he wants to show you something. And he gives you his speech. He explains. He explains his reasoning for why he does what he does. Huh. Did somebody build these ladders?
Just a bit further now.
Am I... Huh. Or, no, wait. With names like Igor and Easton, are these essentially tutorial areas before I get to the main game where I might build my own ladders or find my own stuff? In which case, there's no point in wasting my likes on these NPC ladders who will not enjoy it. Like, why would Igor happen to have all of the movement-based objects in this area? I will hold on to my likes, sir. Yeah, this definitely feels more like a tutorial, especially since it's showing you all these different types of equipment to use. Like here, try out this ladder. Here, try out this bridge. Here, try out this rope. Ah, and there's the incinerator. Hey, Mom, I think you've got a hot date tonight. Oof. Too soon? The incinerator west of Capital Knot City. Ah, so much lens flare. Oh, hold on. What am I picking up? Or what am I not picking up because my hands are full? You can save your progress by opening the cufflinks and selecting system. Alright. That'll be good to know for later. But for now... I've got a delivery to make. I suppose it's convenient that dead bodies are kept in these bags. Otherwise, like, somebody might actually be able to see the dead body and be like, hey, that's the president you're dropping off here. Bridget Strand. Again, I wonder what that means in regards to her last name. The game's called Death Stranding. Her last name is Strand. She's held together by strands of rope. When she breaks free from them, she also dies, breaking free from life. Also, considering the fact that I encountered 0 people, I don't think we really have to worry so much about keeping her identity safe. There was absolutely no one there to figure out our ruse. Also, this is the second game in a row that for Hideo, which has symbolism in regards to incineration.
Chiralium density in the area is climbing rapidly. Heavy timefall is imminent. Get back here, now.
Sam, burn the other cargo while you're there.
Oh, the baby. You're really going to make me burn the baby?
What's this?
BB-28. It's the unit Igor was assigned. It was hooked up to you when we found you in the crater.
But why is it here?
Because it's flagged for disposal. Central Knot's gone, and our headquarters along with it. Because that thing didn't do its job. It's all in Igor's logs.
But it's still alive.
It can't be repaired, and it can't survive outside the pod. Pity it if you want, but the decision has been made. It has to go. The director approved the order.
The director, you say? Except the lights are off, and I might want to live. Handprint? Yeah, handprint. Huh. So the handprints seem to have physical interaction with the world around them. Is the hand bleeding after hitting the glass? But does the hand... are the hands attached to anything?
Damn it, must have lost you in the blackout. Sam, what's your status? Chiralium density is still increasing.
My status is fucked. There's tons of them.
Must be from the bodies we couldn't get up to the incinerator in time. Comes with the territory, I'm afraid.
Can you sit out the rain?
No. They're closing in on my position. I have to move before they realize I'm in here.
Sam, if one of those things eats you, it'll trigger a void out. You'll come back, sure, but the surrounding area will still be a crater.
I got an idea. Start, you shit. Maybe you are defective. That's it. Do your thing.
Huh. So I want... Apparently the baby has memories of Mads. But then... Okay, that's not a good time. Mads has multiple roles in this game. Possibly because he has already died? Alright, and now to tutorialize,
Move cautiously.
Now to tutorialize a confrontation against BTs. Oh, so I can't actually see them. I'll just be able to know they're there. This is potentially confusing. But then I suppose it can't actually see me. It can only hear my breaths. Still, it creates a villain that is meant to be that is not meant to be confronted. Okay, how do I get down there safely? I suppose that is the mystery of this game, is basically, I have no idea what just happened. Was that a bad thing? Was that an especially bad thing? My gosh. It feels like I'm doing like a slow Skyrim march back down a mountain. Oh yeah, because that's the thing. I place my waypoints in such a fashion, and then I went on a different route. What is that over there? You know, even though I seem to be hunted by BTs, I'm still going to take a look, see what that is, because I'm here, and I might as well. I have no idea what I just picked up. Okay. Alright. Let's head back to town. Report a job well done. I probably don't... It's times like these it kind of makes me think about Call of Juarez, more specifically. Like, as an open world game, it's up to you to... Like, this is an open world game. Call of Juarez was not. In an open world game, especially like this, I get the impression that the main challenge is just navigation. It's finding your path through the landscape in order to efficiently transport packages. There is a very specific level in Call of Juarez, the original Call of Juarez, where it takes a break from the action. Your character ends up with this Native American chief guy, and the Native American tasks you to do a couple things. He asks you to go out, hunt some rabbits, so you do that, you bring him some rabbit pelts. And then he asks you to climb a nearby mountain, acquire a feather from the top of the mountain, from an eagle from the top of the mountain, and bring it back to him. So you climb all the way up to the top of the mountain, and then you have to climb all the way back down to the bottom of the mountain. And then when you finally climb back down to the mountain, back down to the bottom of the mountain, and you finally get back to the chief, he is immediately murdered by the villain of the game. So it's like, what was the point of the level in the first place, other than to be like a roadblock, other than to be like a pace setter? And that's why I think about that game in regards to like this kind of sequence. Do I really need to walk all the way back? Like, if we're just focusing on the story by itself, as a game that's intended to tell a story, then I would probably just skip back to Bridges once I've escaped from the BTs. But how is my everything? I seem to actually be a-okay. But that's the thing. Like, if you look at Hideo's earlier work, his focus has generally been on linear games.
Scanning Bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear. All clear.
His focus has generally been towards the narrative. You look at games like Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, 4. They're very heavy in regards to their cinematics versus their gameplay.
Distribution center. Check the location on your compass.
Whereas Metal Gear Solid 5 kind of was a departure for that, which had like a very large amount of gameplay versus the amount of cutscenes that were there. The focus was on navigating your own path through the area. And Death Stranding has a little bit of that, has a lot of that going on. It's just that navigation of your path is affected by different obstacles. Instead of being affected by villains who are trying to cut you down with bullets, you are...
Your feelings and memories cause feedback, like with the speaker. It amplifies fears and stress, and runs the risk of taking you to a place from which you will not return. I'm sorry, but this BB has been pushed beyond its limits. Disposal is the only option.
Sam, get cleaned up and come to the president's office. We need to talk.
But yeah, you look at like Metal Gear Solid 4, especially. You start up the game, and you walk like you start up the game, you get a cutscene. You walk 2 steps, you get a cutscene. You go underneath a truck, you get a cutscene.
Don't worry. It's okay. I'll always be with you. See the sunset, the day is ending. Let that yawn out. There's no pretending.
Okay, so the baby is blowing heart-shaped bubbles. But then Metal Gear Solid 5 was different, because it had more missions where you were not quite doing any of those things, so... But I think this is where I'm going to stop for now. Got some more Death Stranding coming up tomorrow, Thursday. I believe it's Assassin's Creed Friday. No. Quantum of Solace Friday and Saturday. Assassin's Creed should be picking up Sunday. Got any suggestions for something to play next? Leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.